Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. Berlin Economic Forum, innovative nation branding, creative economy, sustainable tourism, and responsible foreign investments is an excellent occasion to share different experiences. Let me to tell you about Homo inventicus, a personal story. Few years ago, traveling by car in my country, in Romania, I stopped at the supermarket. Inside the ad screen near the cash registers was running latest news. One of the news was about the oldest being on Earth, a tortoise from Galapagos, who died at the age of 250 years. I am geologist, and in geological time, 250 years is an insignificant period of time scale. But in human beings, time, this is a remarkable feat which induced me to reflect on the subject. What is remarkable here? A fair answer could be found in the unexpected change of certain conditions that stood still at a given moment in an outdated project. When the Galapagos tortoise was born, in Kingdom of Prussia reigned Wilhelm, son of Frederick. And in Romania ruled Constantin Racoviță. In both situations, the interest of the people living in these countries from the Galapagos tortoise was null. When the tortoise ended its life on Earth, the communication technologies allowed the transmission of the news in real time around the world. The progress of science and investigation techniques could even tell the month when the turtle was born, reminding us we are at the border between the information society and knowledge society now. I cannot help but noticing that while thousands of historians are focusing on wars, political and social conflicts, research and innovation are, unfortunately, only enjoying a sporadic attention. As changes in society imposed by innovation and scientific research tend to come along increasingly faster, the story of changes occurring in a human being's life can be useful to the next generation tempted to believe that many traits of their contemporary society are as old as mankind. Few years ago, while preparing for a roundtable meeting in my university, I received an email for a Belgian professor who suggested that in my intervention I would share a personal experience. I found this a good idea on one condition: to accept that not everything each of us lived through is interesting. Just what we learned from our life experience might be useful to some. I, like Mark said, I was born in 1939. At the age of only 6 months, I fell ill with scarlet fever, and the fact that I survived was exceptional, because only later, in 1945, when I was 6 years old, penicillin began to be produced on an industrial scale, and Fleming received the Nobel Prize for his discovery. When I was 1 year old, General Electric launched the refrigerator with freezer compartment, which was about to produce a food revolution. When I was 7 years old, CBS broadcast the first color TV program in USA, but I was 17 when I saw the first black and white television set in my country, Romania. I was 11 years old when Marion Donovan invented the Pampers diapers, but only my grandchildren use them. I was 30 when the first people landed on the moon, and 59 when I received from NASA a small flag of Romania that had been carried into space by American cosmonauts. I was 35 when computers started to be used by large corporations, 42 when the first PC came out, and 21st when I used one for the first time. I was 41 years old when Motorola manufactured the first mobile phone, and 55 when I had one of my own. I was 72 years old when the iPad and iPhone were introduced, at the same age when I started to use them. An important factor of progress is closely linked to reducing the time gap with technical novelties reach different parts of the world, and on this line we can have a discussion about an information society and a knowledge society. Looking back to antiquity, could we say that Egyptian, Greek, Indian, Chinese, later the Arab or Inca societies, impressive through their cultural and scientific accomplishment, were each in turn a knowledge society? No. Because when we speak about a knowledge society, we refer to a broadening of public space for knowledge, which became truly possible only after the emergence of the internet. Clearly, this does not imply the disappearance of cognitive fractures between different parts of the world, just new opportunities for new actors. At the intersection of science and technology with economic and political systems, research and innovation nurture sustainable and strong development, which would benefit the whole world from the north to the south. Only under these conditions, science and technology can contribute to building a society of extensive knowledge, which is based on the inclusion or participation of a wider audience. For a better use of resources, first is necessary to distinguish between research and routine areas, often confused with research, design, or documentation. Second, it is crucial to strictly evaluate each area with at least 3 criteria: degree of modernity, competitiveness, and excellence, taking into account the changes of success of national and international recognition of significance of the area for further development of the discipline. Finally, an accurate estimation of the cost and means necessary. Only at the end of this assessment, a policy for sustainable development of research become possible. Today, It is hardly conceivable that a country, a nation, will be able to develop real competition parameters for all research direction without a thorough selection process, and it is unacceptable that a ministerial bureaucracy, especially accounting, would decide the priorities. Only the academic community is able to meet these challenges, set the direction and the degrees of support for different departments and programs. Undoubtedly, their decision must comply with extremely rigorous objective criteria and taking into account the tradition and perspective of each field. More effective cooperation at the international level can lead to better assessment and prioritization compared to the result of individual effort of each nation separately. I think that Berlin Economic Forum, innovative nation branding, creative economies, sustainable and responsible foreign investment is a good occasion to share our different experience and to have a good conference. And I want to propose you to participate a very, very strong debate about this exciting subject. Thank you.